Okay, so good evening everyone, whoever ends up watching this. I've done this for Haughty Hugh on Twitter because otherwise he bullies me, and he's asked me to do something about summer fruit pruning. So here's one I prepared earlier, and this is an apple espalier. Not all my work, I've literally just inherited it. It's at Altingwick, a fantastic garden, which, yep, there you go. There's some of it. It's beautiful. But I did my summer fruit prune a couple of weeks back now, maybe 2. The tree's looking a little bit stressed, as you can see there. Just little bits of scorch. It's not looking too grand. So it's had a seaweed feed. It's also had a damn good water, because down at the base you can see it's right up against this lovely wall which reflects all the heat. And also it's come out, it's a significantly aged tree. I don't know if you can see it there. So you've got, let's say, the 1 year's growth which I cut back, 2 years growth, which is that section there, can you see? And then in some places it's been allowed to get away a bit. So that's 3 years growth, and then 4 years growth. And I don't know if you can see this, but you see this little collar? That's where it stopped growing. So you've got that bit just there, which is 1 year's growth where it stopped growing, all the way up to there. And that's where it was cut back to. So that's how you can age the tree. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. It's quite hard to do this. 6, possibly 7, 8, 9, 10. It's got to be at least 10 years old, possibly slightly older. But gradually what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start taking it back, because as you can see, all these lovely apples, they're all starting to ripen up now because they're getting the sun on them. If they don't get the sun on them, they won't ripen quite so well. And it's quite a crowded, well-fruiting tree, so in that sense it's going to be fine. But there are little bits on it which, yeah, you know, you've got a little bit of what looks possibly like codling moth damage there. And again, this scorching effect, which I'm going to have to double check in my book, but I don't think it's anything too serious at this point. It literally just looks like, because we've had such a droughty spring. But yeah, anyway, getting back to the pruning of it. So you can see I've basically taken this one back to almost the collar, and you've got 1, 2, I don't know if you can see that, and then on this side there's a 3rd fruiting bud just there. So it's got 3 buds which in the future will be fruiting buds. And there was one somewhere down here. We've got a lot of dieback. This stuff needs to be taken off and got rid of, basically, because that, if it stays on the tree, is a source of infection. I'm not happy with that, but that's fine. We can deal with that in the winter prune. And you can see here I've taken out that spur completely because I want it to come back in towards the wall, because it's getting quite far out. It's, you know, all